Think you don't have time to write a book with a full-time job? I used to believe that too. But with the right strategy, you can make real progress even with a 9 to 5. In today's episode, I'm showing you how to finish strong without feeling like your job is consuming all your time, keeping you away from writing your memoir. Let's get it. Ready to write your first book and make an impact? Do you wish you could organize your book ideas without feeling overwhelmed and actually find the time to write and finish your book? Hey, I'm Donna Cherie, a book writing coach and author. Welcome to Book Writing Made Simple. Inside this podcast, I'll teach you how to get a clear vision for your book idea, get organized, keep it simple, and develop a writing plan so you can finally get your book out into the world. Grab a notebook and pen with your favorite cup of tea. So you want to write a book, but every time you sit down, you stare at a blank page. You have so many ideas that it seems too overwhelming to get organized. Listen, you don't have to figure this out alone, sis. The Create a Solid Book Plan 1-hour coaching call with me will teach you how to clarify your ideas and create a clear, simple roadmap so you can finally know what to write, how to start, and what steps to take next in the book writing process. You don't need to spend another year trying to figure this out on your own. There's no need to waste hours of your time or sit idle for more confirmations to write the book God already put in your heart to share. In just 1 hour, you can start mapping out your book with ease, even if all you have is a notebook. I'm going to show you simple strategies to organize your thoughts so writing your book doesn't feel overwhelming, but flows with ease. No more waiting for the perfect time to write. Go ahead over to donnacherie.com/coaching and book your 1-hour coaching call to create a solid book plan so you can bring your first book to life. Hey, aspiring author, welcome back or welcome to Book Writing Made Simple. I'm your host, Donna Cherie, and I'm super excited to dive into today's episode. I know that time can be a factor when it comes to writing a book, and today I really want to share with you just 6 tips that you can begin doing so that you can finally finish your book without any more excuses or feeling like you just don't have the time to do it. I want you to know that working a full-time job doesn't mean that you can't write a book. It is totally possible. You can do it. It's not easy, but it is doable. And all it really takes is intention, strategy, discipline, and most importantly, grace. Giving yourself grace to finish the assignment to write your book. When I was working a 9 to 5, I committed to just 2 hours every Saturday. Really, that was all I had at the time were my weekends. And I really wanted to get this book finished, so I utilized that time. That one block of time turned into a weekly rhythm for me. And eventually, I added weekday evenings and finished my manuscript in less than 6 months. Can you believe it? Yes, I'm telling you, it's totally doable. But you have to understand that your book is of urgency, that time really is of the essence. You can go to your 9 to 5 job day in and day out and still feel unaccomplished or still feel fulfilled, or that is as if you have purpose because you haven't moved on what God has already told you to do, sis. So I want you to really listen into this episode, get your notebook and pen out. Make sure that you save this episode because I'm telling you, if you put these things into practice, you will be able to accomplish your book. Or rather, I should say your assignment, because I really feel that in my spirit today that your book is a part of your assignment. And if you're looking to move on to a next portion of your assignment, you have to write the book. So come on now, get your pen and paper and keep listening. So here is the 6 tips that I want to share with you today that you can start doing even when you have a 9 to 5 job to finish your book. Number 1 is to time block 1 or 2 sessions weekly. Get it on your calendar. Get it out of your head and on your calendar. Don't just have this thought in your mind, yeah, I'm going to spend an hour on my book on Saturday or Thursday, but you haven't put it on your calendar. How are you going to remember to do it? So make sure that you time block by utilizing your calendar. And also, if it helps, set a reminder, set an alarm so that when that time comes, when Saturday at 10 a.m. comes, or Thursday during your lunch break comes, that you'll be reminded to sit down and have your writing session. The second tip is to treat writing like an appointment and not a suggestion. Your writing time is so precious in this book, this baby that God has given to you, this God story that He's calling you to birth. It's not a suggestion, but it's a part of an assignment. It's a part of God's will for your life, and you need to treat it like a real appointment and make sure that you show up. Don't try to procrastinate and put it aside or put your timer, or your alarm on snooze. Make sure that you show up, that you step away from your desk during lunch if you decided to have that designated time to write your book, and just really go in. And be sure that you start with prayer before you try to jump into writing as well. Even before, when you show up to your time block, start with prayer, a quick prayer. It doesn't have to be anything long, but just say, Holy Spirit, help me. Help me to be a willing vessel right now and to show up and to be available and to hear what it is you have to say or speak through me to help me write these words down in this document. Start with that and just let God lead the way. The next tip that I want to share with you is to batch task. What do I mean by batching your task? So if you're just getting started with writing your book, there's some essential things that you need to have in place, that you need to get organized with to write your manuscript. And that's, you can batch tasks like write your outline, write your table of contents, and write your dedication page. So that could be, just, and those are examples of batching tasks. Another example that you could do is to figure out how many words that you want to write and figure that out. How many words that you want to have. Is that 30,000 words or 50,000 words? Are you going to write a chapter each month? Making sure that you schedule those dates, your sessions on your calendar, maybe batch some times out on your calendar that you have set aside, and then work your other appointments or some extracurricular activities around those time blocks. So batching task is definitely going to be helpful to you as well. The fourth tip is to prep the night before. So prep the night before your writing session. Get your notebook out or that journal that you have to reference. We're not recording more information in our journal or our notebook, but if we have it there with our ideas and for reference so that we can put it in our document, get that out. Have your writing playlist ready and available if that puts you in the mood to write. Schedule your phone on Do Not Disturb during your writing sessions. If you have an iPhone, that's what I'm most familiar with, you can set up Do Not Disturb or Focus Schedule, or you can even create something called your writing schedule where you put your phone in Do Not Disturb mode during that time. And that will really help you as well if you prep the night before. The next tip is be flexible and adjust. If there are certain busy seasons at work, identify it. But when you identify it, don't quit writing. No matter what, if you have to travel for work, if you have to have long meetings, I want you to be flexible. Be adaptable and adjust. You would do the same thing at work. So why wouldn't you do the same thing for yourself and for the assignment that God has placed before you to do? So make sure that you don't quit even when you do have busy seasons at work, but keep writing, stick with it, and make it a priority. Please stop putting your book on the back burner. That's one thing that really, I don't know what the emotion is to describe it, but I don't know, it just does something for me, I guess, when people, they're like, I'm just so busy and I don't have time to write right now. And I'm not saying like if you don't have a clear idea, then maybe it's not time to write. But if you have this clear idea that you've been wanting to write and share with the world for years, for decades, you already have it. You already visualize it. God has already given you most of the words or some of the words, but yet you're still saying that you don't have time to write your book. It saddens me. It really does sadden me. And I want you to make it a priority. It is a priority. This could be the key to your wealth. This could be a key to moving you from your 9 to 5 if that's something that you desire. This could be the key to really help go out there and make a kingdom impact and help change lives. But yet you might still be saying, I'm too busy at work. And so I want you to change your mindset as well and make that the forefront. Even if you have to get up early before you go to work, even if you may have to go to bed early so that you can get up early the next day to take 30 minutes to write your book. It's necessary, sis. It's so necessary. So I also want you to shift your mindset, adjust your mindset so that you can begin to prioritize this God divine assignment. And you'll be so surprised about how much you'll accomplish when you begin to prioritize what God has told you to do and walk in swift obedience rather than delayed obedience. And you'll be so proud of your progress and you'll want to keep going. And then the sixth tip that I have for you, there was a couple of bonuses in there, but the sixth tip that I wrote down is to celebrate your small wins. Each session brings you closer to your dream of writing your book and holding it in your hand. So celebrate, rejoice, get up and do a little dance. Tell somebody that you wrote 1,000 words. Tell someone that who will encourage you and check in on you and let them know what you accomplish in your writing session. That is just a small win. You don't have to go out and spend money and do all of these things, but just share it with someone else that you were able to get started and actually sit down and write and you had your first writing session and it gave you so much excitement and you desire to keep going and celebrate that. Share it with someone else. So those are the 6 tips and the couple of bonuses that I threw in there by the leading of the Holy Spirit today to really help you get not in the mood, because it's not a mood to write, but get into the obedience, get into the act, the execution of writing, even while you're working a 9 to 5. So to recap those 6 tips, that is to time block 1 or 2 sessions weekly. You could do 60 to 90 minutes or even 2 hours if you like, but 60 minutes is good. And the second is to treat writing like an appointment, not a suggestion. Number 3 is to batch your task. Number 4 is to prep the night before your writing session. Number 5 is to be flexible and adjust. Be sure that you don't quit your writing schedule during busy seasons at work. Stick with it, prioritize it, put it at the top of your mind, at the top of your list. And then number 6 is to celebrate small wins. Celebrate every session that you have. Celebrate, and rejoice and give God thanks for making progress with your book. So I hope that blessed you, that you took some notes. You can, of course, go back and replay this episode. And I'd love to help you get further along in your book, that book that you desire to write. You can go ahead and go over to donnasherie.com anchor.fm/coaching if you desire to book a 1-hour coaching call with me to create a solid book plan so you can bring your first book to life. All right, sis, until next time, ciao. Thanks for tuning in. I hope today's episode inspired you to take that next step to write your book. Remember, small steps lead to big results. If this podcast has blessed you in some way, be sure to leave a written review on Apple Podcasts. Your support means the world to me, and it helps others to find the show. Also, be sure to pass on the inspiration by sharing this episode with a friend who could benefit from this message. God bless you, sis, and never, ever give up.